This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, G. McLevin, and Big Glitter. How's it going, guys?
Well, good. That train gets choked up there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what we're talking about, but I think that's positive confirmation that it does happen.
Has nothing to do with anything that you guys.
The PNC stacks at Great American Ballpark. I got nothing on that.
Hey, I just want to say, though, that my Astros are in first place still. Everything's looking good. So I'm very, very happy right now.
I am too. We're not in first place, but the Reds are on a hot streak. We've won 4 in a row. So, hey, things are looking up a little bit. The only bad thing that happened yesterday, damn Dodgers come back and beat the Padres. That's the only bad thing that happened. I watched it.
He knew that was going to – I had a feeling that might happen. I don't know why. Dodgers just seem to be very lucky right now with everything that's going on. They seem very lucky right now.
Okay, guys, let's jump into it. We'll talk a little bit of NBA because I know we got Glenn on here, and he wanted to definitely touch on the Pacers. He huge Pacer fan, goes to most of the games, and I'm sure he'll be going to the game, I assume, Wednesday night.
Yes, big shout out, much love to Miles Turner for making sure that at least the people that made the fan zone, all 32 of us, have a ticket to each of the at least 2 games, if possible, game 6, if we end up hosting that. So much love to our guy, Miles Turner.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, let's go into it a little bit. Glenn, let's get your takes on what you thought of game 1 and game 2.
The way game 2, the way game 1 ended for the Pacers, when we was only down 12 at the half, one thing I was telling myself, and I told my guy Frank this, is the fact that we committed like 19 turnovers. Then we were only down 12 when we should have been down probably by at least 20 to 30 points. And I told myself, I was like, we are still in this game. And sure enough, Pacers do what they always do, and came back, won the game. And we obviously, as far as game 2 is concerned, I kind of expected Oklahoma City to respond after losing the game the way they did last Thursday. We did try to make a couple runs at them in the third quarter, but they just stemmed the tide each time. But as far as tomorrow night goes, I may not be on with you guys tomorrow. Actually, I should say most likely won't be on with you tomorrow. But the Pacers, I believe, will get the job done tomorrow night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Okay. Well, we hope
Let me ask you a question, Glenn. Let me ask you a question, man. So,
yes,
I was talking about this with Gonz, and I talked about this with Tony. You know, when it seems like, you know, with the Pacers, you got to play that full 48-minute game. Like, you can't just play 44 or 45 minutes. You have to play all the way to the end, because it just seems like the Pacers are going to give you everything they have all the way to the end, and they have had several comeback wins in that last minute and a half. It seems like more than I could count on my hands, honestly. How much more do you think at some point, you know, like we saw last night or the other night, where Oklahoma City did play the full 48 minutes and they handedly took care of the Pacers? How do you see it going forward for the Pacers if the Oklahoma City Thunder do play hard the full 48 and not let off the gas a little bit? Do you think that there's – because I got to tell you, there was a – like I was telling Gonzo, you know, that they shot 39%, Oklahoma City did, and they still only lost by a point. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that, and I understand all that. But I'm saying when Indianapolis, when OKC is shooting the ball well, playing good D, and they play the full 48, how do you – and I really expect in Game 3 you're going to see that. How do the Pacers – how do you feel like the Pacers can match what Oklahoma City's doing when they're doing all the things they're supposed to?
Yeah, so here's the thing. And Rick Carlisle would trust, obviously. I'm sure when we was down and was trying to make those runs late or just in the second half in general, I know Rick and the coaching staff was taking notes to get ready for Game 3. There's a reason,
Right.
and see, there's a reason why he pulled his starters with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, because I'm sure Rick was happy to get the split in Oklahoma. And we're coming back for Game 3, and he has an adjustment in the game plan for ready to go for tomorrow night. And I think it's how we're going to combat that.
And my thing on that is if the Pacers play to the level they're capable of playing and play a full 48 minutes, and OKC plays a full 48 minutes, we're going to be right there with the chance to win the game. You keep saying we only won that first game by a point. They only shot 39%, but a lot of that was a lot of mistakes and turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over and we're there and we play the kind of game we can play and shoot the ball like we're capable of shooting, shoot it 47, 48% like we did Game 1 instead of 35% in Game 2, we're going to be there at the end. And something that I think people overlook is OKC is not good in close games. If you keep that game close going in the fourth quarter, they get tense and they have a losing record in the regular season in close games. They have a losing record in the playoffs if games are decided by 5 or 6 points. A lot of that's because they've been been front runners all year. But if the Pacers play a full 48-minute game like they're capable of, even if OKC does play good, the Pacers are capable of being right there. And if it's a close game, anything can happen. I think tomorrow, I don't expect us to get down by 15, 20 points like we did in the first 2 games.
Sure hope not.
I think tomorrow it could actually be reversed where we get like a 10-point lead, 10, 15-point lead, and are trying to keep a hold of a lead the whole game instead of OKC having to lead the whole game.
To piggyback on what you just said, Gonzo, I think tomorrow's Game 3 is going to mimic a lot of how the Pacers and Knicks Game 6 was at Gainbridge Fieldhouse when we closed them out. It'll be close up until halftime, then we'll start slowly pulling away in the third and fourth quarter. Because the way I know how Rick's mind works and stuff, like I really honestly see that happening.
That's a big statement, given the competition you're going against. That's a huge statement to say that.
It is.
It could almost be it could
a big statement to say what?
Some people look at it as irresponsible.
A big statement to say what?
About the game mimicking Pacers in the next Game 4 based on how Rick Carlisle is making his adjustments.
I'm saying to say that you're going to pull away to make that statement against the number 1 defense in the country, seeing how you haven't done it in Game 1 or Game 2, that's a big statement to say that you all of a sudden in Game 3.
You're saying it's such a big statement. Let me ask you this question: When OKC beat Minnesota the first 2 games, and then Minnesota beat OKC by 40 points the next game. So I mean, we've seen OKC get blown out before. We've seen OKC get beat before. It's not like they've never been beat. We saw Minnesota, a team that is not
barely got anybody.
Is not as good as the Pacers.
Am I saying that you can't that it can't be a one-off? You can have a one-off, sure,
a one-off,
but it's still a big thing to say. It's still a big thing to say that.
It ain't a big thing to say. He didn't say they were going to blow them out.
Well, he said that they were going to pull away as if they were going to get a lead that would be
by 10 to 15 in that range. That's about what I was thinking. Not 30, 40.
Capable of that.
You've seen the Pacers get hot in the way they can shoot at times. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm going to say it's possible.
And the way the Pacers
and we're at home.
Everybody said we couldn't beat the Cavs. We beat the Cavs by 10, 15, 20 points in a couple of those games. We beat the Knicks by 10, 15, 20 points in a couple of those games. I mean, it ain't like everybody wants to act like the only way the Pacers win is if we get down by 20 and then we come back at the end. That's not the only way we win. We've won games like that, but that's not the only way we win games.
But one thing for sure, Halliburton's got to play better.
Yeah.
He's got to be more aggressive. And our record is completely different. In the games that we've won, he's had 21-10. And the games that we lose, he's had 12-6. He's got to be more aggressive. I'm not saying he's got to score 35 points. You know what? That's not necessarily Halliburton. But he's got to be more aggressive.
Look for a shot.
He's got to look for a shot, but he's got to be more aggressive. He's got to have more assists. And
I expect him and Siakam both have a lot better games tomorrow.
I sure hope so.
Siakam's only had like this was only like the third game in the whole playoffs that he's had under. Third or fourth game in the whole playoffs, he's had under 20 points.
Siakam didn't look good at all. I thought they did a good job on defending him. He didn't look great.
We took him out. We took him out of the game in that second quarter by not giving him the damn ball.
Yeah, he didn't get the ball.
I mean, if you don't touch the ball, you can't do nothing.
I think I'll just be watching too much Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins because that I can tell how aggravated he's looking right now. Just at the thought of some of these thoughts.
I don't watch no Stephen A. Smith.
I can't believe you, man, because the way you're aggravated.
I think watching Stephen A. Smith is a waste of a time.
Irresponsible.
It's irresponsible.
Yeah, he was watching that and had that same look.
You know what else is irresponsible? The fact that the league came out and said that there is no more choking insignia, the Reggie Miller choke thing, and that Glenn has it on his little screensaver there. That's just irresponsible on you, Glenn.
Jay,
did you not hear what the league said about that?
I did. What did you
do that no more?
Jay,
it's not mandated to me, so I probably would change it.
Where'd you see that at?
Because I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's out. It's out.
Okay.
I have to. I can pull it up and I'll send it to you in a text. But it's out there. Yeah, my phone died. I can't pull it up. But yeah, it's definitely out there.
It's all across the newspaper though, so I would probably be able to get away with it.
Okay, guys, let's change a little bit. I'm gonna stay in the NBA. Big topic today on a lot of shows is the Knicks going to try to get Kevin Durant. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? Now, there are also people talking about possible the guy from Milwaukee trying to get him. But the big thing about that is they've had no talks. Milwaukee says they're not interested in training him, and he's away traveling the world with his family and has not had any talks with Milwaukee at all. So right now that's on hold. I mean, who knows when anything could happen with that? So right now that's not even a chance of happening right now at this point. But the thing about Durant is he's only on a 1-year deal left. So if you get him, you've only got him for 1 year. And somebody said, well, the Knicks could get him as a rental. Well, you may not want to be a rental. So that's interesting. Do you think let's go to Jay first. Do you think Durant could be a difference maker for the Knicks?
Oh man, here's the thing. I mean, he does play. Pretty decent defense. He does have a shot. He's a little older in the tooth, though. I wonder how well he's going. The problem with the Knicks was they didn't match up well with the Pacers' style of play, and I don't know that bringing in a guy like Durant is necessarily going to change that team and make them more of like a running style of team or an up-tempo type of team to keep up with the likes of an OKC or keep up with the likes of a Indiana Pacers, So do I think he's he'll put up points, but he didn't do much for Phoenix. He really hasn't done too much anywhere else in terms of elevating them back to the playoffs other than what he was able to accomplish with Golden State. So for me, I probably wouldn't bring in Durant. I don't think he's the right type of guy that's going to take you to that next level or get you to that next level and compete with the likes of the Pacers on that level. So no, I don't like it.
And the other issue is to get him, from what I understand is because of the money and everything, you're going to have to give Phoenix a bunch of players. They're going to have a bunch of players. And so you're going to have to give away players on your rosters. Who are you going to give away? I mean, they say Towns.
Who would you give away?
You're going to give up Towns, but who else are you going to give away? You don't want to deplenish your roster. To me, everybody, I think Towns is a scapegoat. I think Towns is a good player. Did he lack on defense? Yes. I think they knew that going in. That's their fault. that's to me that's the general manager's fault. You hurt your defense to get more scoring because you want to beat Boston. Guess what? You got the job done, but it didn't happen against the Pacers because of the pace, and you couldn't play defense. So, in my opinion, you keep Towns. You try to find a way to add more players, more depth, and more defense and rebounding. That's my opinion. I think they're crazy if they get rid of Anthony Towns. I think Towns is talented. I think they knew what they had when they got Towns. He's not a great defensive player.
I gotta imagine if they're gonna try to make a trade for Durant, I gotta imagine that the Suns are gonna probably want picks of some sort, right? They're gonna want more than just a player. They're probably gonna want some picks as well. So who would the Knicks give up? I think Towns would be untouchable. I don't think he's going to be there. I think they maybe in Mikal Bridges, they just gave up 5 picks to bring in Mikal Bridges.
No,
I don't think necessarily that Bridges would be. So what would it be? On a buoy, maybe?
Well, they said the money, because of the money and stuff, they would have to probably be 3 or 4 players. At what would you ask?
Man, what would those
they would probably have to have 3 or 4 players to get him, and they said they figured Towns would be one of them. So
wow.
I don't know how you do that, in my opinion. Chris, what do you think?
Wow, that's a lot.
I think it depends on what you have to give up. If you're not giving up too much, I think he makes them better, because I think he's a better fit with Brunson than what Karl Anthony Towns is. Karl Anthony, because a lot of times if you've watched the Knicks not just during the playoffs, but during the regular season as well, when Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson both are on the court at the same time, Knicks offense seemed to struggle. But when one of them's on the court, when Towns was on the court by himself, that's when he got going offensively, and Brunson seemed to play better offensively when Towns wasn't on the court. When they were both on the court together, they didn't play very good offensively, and then you have two guys.
It's not great.
You have 2 guys on the defensive side that the other team are going to attack, and that's exactly what the Pacers done against them. If Brunson was on the court, we were attacking Brunson defensively, or if Towns was on the court, we were trying to get a matchup against him to attack him. So if you get Durant's a better defender, and Durant's a guy that can still give you the points like that Towns had. But it just depends on what you would have to give up to get him. But I think if you didn't have to give up too much, I do think he can make him better, because I think he's a better fit with Brunson than what Towns is.
But do you think he makes a big enough difference? Because
it depends on who you have to give up.
Yeah, a lot of the Knicks homers thinks that if they get, and I'll say it, the dude does the morning show, Greeny, he in his head, if they get Durant, he thinks they're winning a championship.
Yeah,
that's what he thinks.
That's what they said when they got Cat. And that's what they said when they got Thibodeau.
Depends on who they'd have to give up to get Durant.
No.
And for 2, them just getting Durant, I don't think makes them better than puts them over the Pacers. So,
yeah, because they gonna have to give up a lot of depth of the Knicks' depth to get Durant. So I'm
not sure it puts them over Boston. I know Boston's lost one player.
Boston, and Boston's not going to look the same next year.
But still don't know. Boston's going to retool. I mean,
they'll
have to change.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll
be
good.
They're going to be, and it may be a different type team.
Cleveland should be good again next year.
Should be.
Detroit should be
better.
Should be good.
Boston will be down in the bottom half of the East as far as the playoffs. They'll still make the playoffs, but they'll be down there.
They could be, depending on who they lose.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to remember they're not going to have Tatum for most of the season.
Yeah.
Horford announced his retirement too. So,
no, I still think if the Knicks can hold this team together, like you said, without giving too much up to bring in a Durant, then there'll still be a direct that'll be your competition. But I don't think they bring in Durant. And I don't know if you want to bring – I mean, I think – what is it? Billy said it pretty well. I think that Durant has been a cancer in some place that he's gone to. I don't know, man. And he's in his 30s. Do you really want to give a large part of your team, 3 or 4 guys and or picks, for a guy that's in his 30s and probably out of the league in a few more years? I just think that would be a bad move on their part. I think there's other things that they can do out there to improve their team than going after a guy in his mid-30s, given what you got to give up for him.
Yeah. You can't give up much of your team.
their problem is they don't have no draft picks or anything to do anything to improve their team because they gave them all up to get Mikal Bridges and Carl.
Exactly.
And
So that's why I feel to that point. And to that
and
point,
their
that's
other
why
problem is,
Durant.
and here's their other problem. Their other problem, they overachieved this year and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So then instead of being happy with that, they go fire their coach that's got them to the playoffs for the last 5 years. So now you got to go out and try to make a splash. And whoever you hire as a new coach, if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, are you firing them? I mean, you set that as your standard. Or I guess if you don't make the finals, you're going to fire your new coach because you fired Thibodeau because he didn't get to the finals after you ain't been there for 25 years, hadn't been in the playoffs forever until he got there. To me, they've just screwed the whole situation up. Like you fire your coach, now you're bringing in whoever you bring in, an instant pressure on him to do better than what they did last year, which realistically they might not. I mean, depends on what the Boston what everybody else looks like too. And I mean,
right.
The way New York fans are, man, I feel like they called for Thibodeau's head in that way, so they had which is stupid to begin with if you pander to your fans, in that way, as far as from the front office is concerned. But man,
Thibodeau was a defensive coach, and they wanted to go offensive, and they did, and it did beat Boston. But I think they thought, and maybe correctly so to a certain degree. I mean, Boston was the champions last year. They thought if they could beat Boston, that they could be in the finals, and they didn't count on the Pacers being there, and it didn't work out. So, but to blow it up, I think it's crazy. I don't know. I think they made a mistake.
This thing that all the fans and some of the people I've heard on TV say, well, the Knicks were built to beat the Celtics, not the Pacers. Well, if you're going to win the championship, you gotta be built to try to beat everybody. You can't be built just to beat one team. And you might have beat Boston, but what if say Cleveland would have beat the Pacers and you had Cleveland and Cleveland beat you? I mean,
yeah.
I think Cleveland roster wise is a better roster than New York. Cleveland to me was a little soft. It got soft in the playoffs. Yes. New York's tougher, but like roster wise, I think Cleveland has the better roster. But New York plays a tougher style and is more physical. Where when the Pacers played Cleveland, got a little physical with Cleveland, they kind of folded a little bit. They didn't have that dog and fight back like the Knicks and OKC and the Pacers and some of these other teams where it gets physical, you keep battling. Cleveland, and when it got physical, it seemed like they kind of shrunk a little bit.
And I also think, there's still two coaches, right? What's that one? Jenkins, the one that just got the one that got fired from Taylor Jenkins, right? From Memphis. So you got him out there, and you got Mike Malone out there. You know
who they're talking about getting, right?
Who?
They're talking about Jason Kidd.
Oh no, they already turned that one down. The Dallas Mavericks already put the kibosh on that.
Well, there's reports that Dallas isn't going to let him interview.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really think they're down to Mike Malone at this point. I would not be surprised if Mike Malone is next coach of the New York Knicks. And I really think it kind of makes sense. I mean, if they felt like for whatever reason Thibodeau couldn't get it done because he couldn't get past the East Conference Finals, and you need to get past the East Conference Finals, well, then why not go get Mike Malone? He's won a championship. He knows what it takes to get a championship.
I agree that that's who they probably want, but I don't think it's a good fit because he's basically a Tom Thibodeau. He's a defensive coach. Sure. He's strict on his players. I guess New York and the players didn't want them to be easier. So if you go just get another guy, the only difference between the two is Malone won the championship 2 years ago. But if you bring in another guy that is a discipline and the players don't like, you're in the same boat you were in. If that's the reason you got rid of him,
right? Well, the New York Knicks have a couple problems, right? Number one is they don't match up with the style of play of the Pacers. Number two, they don't have as deep of a bench as the Pacers do. And I think obviously they're going to have to address the coach first. But then after they address that coach, what they really need to address, more than bringing in Kevin Durant, is they need to address that bench and stop letting your five guys go 40-plus minutes and they're exhausted. you need to have a deeper bench or more qualified bench to be able to compete. You know, so those are, if I was the Knicks, those are the two areas. Obviously, coach, and then secondly, I got to look at that bench and revamp that bench.
I agree. Okay, guys, let's move on. Let's go into the NHL real quick. Last night was Game 3 with the Edmonton Oilers at the Florida Panthers. And man,
Panthers whooped that ass, didn't
they
they?
whipped that man. They was, and not only that, them teams were whipping them both their asses. They were fighting like
I saw the brawl where it was 5-on-5.
they were going at it.
I was laughing my ass off.
The refs just let them go. The hell with this. Yeah, they went at it for quite a while. They basically let them go till they tired themselves out and couldn't go anymore. Basically, what they did. And Panthers put it on them. I don't know. I thought this was going to go 7, but I don't. After that shellacking, I'm not sure now.
Well,
what do you think, Jay?
I mean, it's the first game. It's the first game back in Florida, and yeah, I think Edmonton. You know, once they got down a little bit, they were doing some cheap shots in there, and I think we saw them now do that. I still feel like it goes 7. But Bobrovsky, geez, man, that guy is such a good goalie, man. And obviously Florida's offense was great. And obviously Skinner was exposed a little bit because Skinner's not quite the goalie that Ottinger was or Bobrovsky is, you know. So I still think that kind of hurts Edmonton a little bit. So I don't know, man. I mean, obviously the next game is going to be the telltale if it goes 7 or not, right? It's up 2-1 right now in favor of Florida. So let's wait and see what game 3 or 4 brings. And if it's a close game, then I still think they're in it. If it's another blowout like 6-1 like it was or 5-1, then yeah, I think Panthers are going to secure it within 6.
No, I heard he's hey Joe, I heard Frankie's leading the ice race in LA. They're trying to get rid of Ohtani.
Oh damn. Damn. Last I heard, Frankie was out there in California. Yeah, he was doing the protesting. So I don't know.
Okay.
Which is weird because he's from Puerto Rico, so he really doesn't have much to protest. But you know, support your fellow brethren.
Hey, he buy the get rid of the Dodgers out of the World Series picture, obviously. So
yeah, he wants to get their team out of there. Chris, you got any takes on the hockey?
Chris over there trying to get over that whatever he got up in that throat.
You got the train stopping and now.
No, the goalie for Edmonton. The goalie for Edmonton. He what did he get benched earlier in the year? If I remember correctly,
I think so.
He got benched earlier in the year, and then he got inserted. Then their other goalie get hurt or something, and they brought him back in the toward the beginning of the playoffs, and he played real well.
Yeah. So
hopefully he can get back to the way he was playing because they were cooking him left side.
Yep.
The little bit some of the highlights I saw, and then listening to people talk, and then yeah, I know there was a lot of people that felt like Edmonton was doing some cheap shots. From what I hear, I didn't watch a lot of the game. I saw bits and I saw some highlights, and I did see the brawl, which that's always fun. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that everybody had a person that everybody was brawling.
Yeah, they were, man.
If I'm the referee, I'm just getting the fuck out of the way. That one referee was getting the shit beat out of him because he's trying to get in between the two. And these guys are clubbing each other, and he's in the middle of it. I'm like, just get out of the damn way.
Yeah.
You're going to get yourself killed.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, guys, we'll move on to the hockey. Jay, do you remember when the next game is for them? Is it Thursday?
Hockey. I was actually looking that up. Give me 1 second. I can tell you when their next game is, and it should be. Let's see here. Scores. And
You gonna play same time as the Pacers?
I think it is tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday, June 12th is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I figured it was Thursday. I figured it was different than the NBA. So yeah, they play Thursday. So they get some days off. Maybe Edmonton can regroup, and we'll see how that goes.
And that's a 7:00 start time.
Okay.
Wow. What should I put you down for? My bad on that one.
Okay. Well, let's move on. We're going to do some NFL. We got some stuff here. But the first thing I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you've seen this, Jay, but Anthony Richardson, some more came out on that. He's got a second opinion on his shoulder from the guy that did the surgery. Yeah, they announced that today. Yeah, he So I don't know what they're looking at, and they haven't announced anything yet. But the guy that did the surgery, he went and seen him. So yeah, I don't know. It may not be looking too good for him. Chris, what have you heard?
Wow.
I mean, not much other than that he went to see that Neil Albatross or whatever his name is, and that's the guy that one of the best. I mean, that's the guy that worked with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. He's worked almost all the big quarterbacks, and he's one of the best guys on the Achilles surgery as well. But I know he went there to get a thing, but they said that other than that, nothing's changed. So I really don't. Other than he's not going to be involved in the mini camp coming up. Like I said, I think to me Daniel Jones is going to be our starting quarterback, which I kind of felt that way before this. Before the injury, but now with the injury, I think that even tips it more toward Daniel Jones.
It sounds to me like, from everything I've seen here, it sounds to me like with Anthony Richardson, it's not so much will he be the starting quarterback for the Colts as much as what does his career look. That shoulder is a serious thing. This is a re-injury on that same shoulder. For a quarterback, that's a huge thing, right? So I'm kind of curious more so as to his career longevity than, I mean, whether it be a backup quarterback with maybe another team or maybe him trying to make a comeback as a starting quarterback. I mean, there's so much more questions about Anthony Richardson at this point than it is if he's going to be the starting quarterback this year or Daniel Jones. I mean, there's a lot of questions now behind Anthony Richardson's career than just that one season if he's going to be the starter or not, right?
That could be definitely. Chris, let me ask you this. Let's say that it's not good news, and hopefully it is good news. He can come back and he can try to go for that job. But let's say that it's something he has to have surgery again or something, or going to be out for a while. Who do you think the Colts might look at to be the backup quarterback? Is there anybody out there?
I'd have to see. I only know who would be who's available to be a backup.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're. Where would you go at this point? I mean, I guess you'd have to wait until after training camp to see who gets released, and then maybe you can go pick up one that direction, or look to make a trade in some kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys you can pick up. I'm just not. I can just think off the top of my head, ain't thinking of like a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either, to be honest with you. Well, okay, guys, we'll move on from that.
Hey, did you see real quick? Did you see? I was just reading where it looks like T.J. Watt is holding out right now due to, I guess, a contract issue. Says I just saw this, so I guess he's having issues with his contract. I guess he's trying to get a new contract, but it looks like he's coming off of a $112 million 4-year deal that he signed back in 21. So right now, it looks like T.J. Watt might not be reporting to camp unless they get his deal done. Which that could be a huge blow to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, obviously.
I think they'll get his deal done. But yeah, from what it looks like, he's not reporting. There's some other guys. Terry McLaurin hasn't went to.
Oh, McLaurin didn't report. Wow. Okay.
There was a couple other names too.
Yeah, they want more money.
Trey Hendrickson with the Bengals. He's not reporting.
Hendrickson, do you think he winds up staying with Cincinnati after all this stuff that's kind of been surrounded with him at this point?
I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for them to get that resolved at this point, but we'll see. I know he wanted to be in Cincinnati, but then after all this, who knows? Because I mean, he met his wife in Cincinnati. His daughter was born in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So he was pretty much set on staying in Cincinnati.
Right.
But he also wants to get paid. He also wants to get paid.
Yeah, he does.
And it's not like he's young. I mean, he's getting a little in terms of football years. I mean, he's getting up there in football years.
He can come on over to the Colts and take him.
Oh no, he actually wants to be with the winner. So
that's why he's coming to the Colts.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Hey, and we have the guy that's been his defensive coordinator for the last few years is with the Colts. So he already knows the system. Come on over.
That's the biggest thing for you guys, really, is that QB situation. If you can ever just get that QB spot solidified, I mean, really solidified, that would definitely put you back in contention to rival the Texans, honestly. That's just the one thing. Because honestly, I mean, the Jaguars don't have. Matter of fact, not only the Jaguars not have it, I just saw a picture where Trevor Lawrence's hand or throwing arm is in a sling, and he's at training camp due to soreness. So I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence can make it through a season with the Jaguars. So really, in all honesty, unless the Texans just something bad catastrophically happens to them, I don't see anybody stopping them. And it's not like the Colts couldn't do it if you had a quarterback.
The thing is, J.O., you say that, and I agree that the Texans would be the favorite in the division. But even 2 years ago when the Texans had their real good season, Stroud's rookie year,
yeah.
If the Colts don't blow a game against the Texans in the last game of the season, I mean, it came down to the last game of the season who won that division. Yeah. And even and last year, we fucking Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball as you're going in the end zone. Yeah. I mean, we were right. We were right there with the Texans to get that division again. So, I mean, it kind of goes to your point. If we could figure out our quarterback, because the Texans haven't been that much. It ain't like they've been that far ahead of us.
Yeah.
And plus,
and I don't know that Daniel Jones has to go out there and be, like a Lamar Jackson type of quarterback. I think he just needs to go out there and be able to facilitate the offense and, not turn the ball over, make good reads. If he can do those simple things, which he's done in New York, right? I mean, people don't act like Daniel Jones didn't have some level of success in New York. I mean, he has thrown for some good amount of yards, and he has had a good quarterback touchdown to interception ratio. I think he can get the job done. I don't think he has to necessarily be a CJ Stroud or some prolific quarterback. He just has to be, a game managing style quarterback. And if he can do that without turning the ball over, that could be maybe all you really need at that point.
Okay, guys, let's move on. Got a thing that we did the other day on NFL players that are free agents or guys that were free agents and signed with somebody or they got traded to a team. And the first one up I have is Davante Adams. He's going to be with the Rams. He signed away from the Jets. So let's look. Is he going to be next level next year, middle of the road, or think he could be a flop? Jay, what do you think?
I'm sorry. What was the player we're talking about again?
Davante Adams.
Oh, Davante Adams. Out there with the Rams.
Yep.
Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua. I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll have a bounce back year because Stafford is not like, that situation there is not like the Jet. That Jet situation was just god awful, man. It was just a doom situation from the beginning. But the Rams actually have a good system. They have a good, competent quarterback. Not that Aaron Rodgers isn't competent, but Stafford has, he has a good arm. They have a good system over there. It's a very good culture over there. No, I think Davante Adams will be just fine. I think Matt Stafford is going to bomb the hell out of him and Nacua. I think maybe Nacua even takes some of the pressure off of Davante. So I think Davante's going to. I'll give him a high thumbs up over with the Rams.
Chris, what do you think?
No, I think it'll be. I think he's going to be good with the Rams. They got the Rams offense. They have a lot better offensive line than the Jets have. And so with that, and then you have Nacua on the other side, which with the Jets, you had Garrett Wilson on their side, but the Jets didn't have very good offensive line. Plus the coaching, like they didn't, you fired your coach in the middle of the year and you didn't really have an offensive guy. With the Rams, you have a good offensive coach in McVay. So I think Adams will have a good year. I really do. I think he'll look a lot more like the guy that from when he was in Green Bay than he has over the last couple seasons.
I agree. I think it's a perfect fit for him. I think he's going to have a big season. Could be not quite as big as it could be because the other guy, Nakoa, could be the number one, but I still think Adams, and who knows, Adams could end up being better than Nakoa because, he's throwing to both. So, but I think he's going to have a big season. So, the next one up is Deebo Samuel, wide receiver. He's with the Washington Commanders now. He got traded from the 49ers. Well, what do you guys think about this? Is Deebo a good fit with the Commanders? Next level, middle of the road, or a flop? Chris, what do you think?
I think it's going to be middle of the road. And the reason I say that, the reason I'm going with middle of the road, because Samuel's a good player, but one of his problems is staying on the field and not getting hurt. So is he going to be available for the whole season for Washington? And also, Jaden Daniels was awesome in his rookie year, but what's Jaden Daniels going to look like his second season? I'm not saying he's going to regress a lot, but we've also seen quarterbacks have real good rookie seasons and then struggle a little bit their second year. I think Washington's going to be better than they were last year, but just how much, I just don't know how much Deebo's going to touch the ball where he's going to have that big effect, and is he going to be able to stay on the field? So for that, I would say middle of the road. I don't think it'd be a flop, but I wouldn't say next level just because I don't know if he'll be on the field enough to make that big of an impact.
I don't know if I can say next level, but I can't say middle of the road. I think he's going to I do think he's going to make a big impact because I think he can run the football. And I think he's a physically tough player. I think sometimes that's why he gets hurt, unfortunately. But I think if he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a high impact player and I think he could be a good fit with Washington and their team. So I'm gonna go. I'll still go ahead and go next level. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there where you are, Tony, for a couple of reasons. Number one, Deebo became Deebo because of the way in which the 49ers used Deebo. Whether it was running back or reverses or wide receiver or whatever, the gadget he plays in which they used Deebo really made Deebo who Deebo was. I don't know how Washington plans to use Deebo. I don't know if they're going to try to, do the same kind of things as what the 49ers did with Deebo. So that's question one for me. Question two is on the flip side, McLaurin has never really had a true wide receiver 2 to help him out. And Jaden Daniels hasn't had a true wide receiver 2 to help him out. So I think he could make an impact on that level. Number three, kind of what Chris said, is can he stay on the field because he gets hurt so damn much. And I think a lot of his injuries were because of the gadget plays, the amount of plays that he was being involved in and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear on the body. So it really kind of, for me, comes down to how does Washington use Deebo? What shape is Deebo in? Is there any lingering effects from any injuries? And if there isn't any injury lingering effects, and if they just use him straight as a wide receiver 2, I think he could have an impact. So there's a lot of things that go into that. I'm stuck kind of in between middle of the road and next level. I'm going to say next level only if he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, I think he can be next level. If he gets hurt or has issues with injuries or decreased playing time because of injuries, then I think you're looking at more middle of the road. But for right now, I'll stay with next level.
Okay, this next one's going to be interesting. I'm going to let Jay go first because he's been opinionated on this one. Joey Bosa, edge lineman for the Buffalo Bills, free agent, left the Chargers. What do you think, Jay? Next level, middle of the road, or a flop?
See, this is almost the same issues I had with Deebo as I have with Bosa. I can't remember the last Bosa. I don't know what it is about them Bosa brothers, but they always get hurt at some level. At some point, they're on the injured list. At some point. So with Bosa, it's number one, can the man stay on the field? I think he has the talent to be an impactful player on that defense if he's healthy. I'm going to go middle of the road on this because I don't think that Bosa can stay on the field. I think at some point he'll be on the injured list. So I'm going to go middle of the road based on injuries.
Yeah, I think if he's on the field, he could be very good for the Buffalo Bills. I think he fits that organization pretty well. But yeah, can he be on the field for 16 games? So I kind of agree with you, Jay. I think I'm going to go middle of the road. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go middle of the road. I think he has the potential to be next level for the Bills, and if he is, I think it'll take the Bills to the next level because that's one thing they were missing a little bit last year was a pass rusher. But it's just hard for me to say that it's going to be next level because you just never know if he's going to make it through a whole season. But if he stays healthy, I think there's a good chance it could be next level, and I think he could be the guy to help take the Bills defense to that next level to get them where they want to go because that was one of their weaknesses was a pass rush. And when he's healthy, he's a hell of a pass rusher. It's just you got to be on the field. So I think it all just depends on if he can stay healthy or not, for me at least.
And the last one I have is, not sure I'm going to pronounce his name right, Laramie Tunsil, offensive tackle, Washington Commanders, was traded by the Houston Texans. He's had a pretty good career as an offensive lineman. He was kind of the scapegoat a little bit for Houston last year. Next level, mid-round, or middle of the road, or flop. Chris, what do you think?
I think it's going to be. I'm going to say middle of the road. I think it's a real solid pickup for the Texans. Tunsil's been a solid offensive lineman for a long time, but that's my only thing is he's starting to get a little older. So is he going to be able to play it at the same level as he has been? So that'd be the only reason I wouldn't go all the way up to next level. But I think he's a real good pickup for Washington to solidify that offensive line. So I would say probably middle of the road with the ability to move up because it just depends on. I mean, he's just getting a little bit older, and how does he gel in with the other guys that Washington already had there?
Yeah,
but I do like that Washington is trying to improve that offensive line.
Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to do good. If we're just talking this specific year and not like the length of the career left that he has, then I'm going to go next level only for this year, not years beyond it. To Gonzo's credit, he is getting older than the two. So I think his career is kind of on the downward side of it, right? So, but I do think this specific year and what he can mean for this Washington team trying to get to a Super Bowl, trying to protect Jaden Daniels and do all those right things, I think he's going to do a good job. As long as he avoids injury, I think he'll do a great job for that offensive line. And so for that, this specific year, I'm going to say next level.
Yeah, I think I'm going next level too because I don't know if his play will necessarily be next level, but I think he's still going to elevate that offensive line. So I think our offensive line may be next level compared to where they were. So I'm going to go with next level. Again, if he stays healthy. But I like to pick up a Tunsil, and I think he kind of got a little bit of a bad rap because things went bad with the Texans last year, and I think he was kind of the scapegoat. Just my opinion, but I still think he's got something left to obtain. So I think it was a great pickup for Washington. I think it was a great pickup. Well, guys, anybody else got anything else?
Oh man, I was looking through the news to see what other kind of stuff was out there, and it just seems like right now that's all I could find. So,
okay, well, I do have something for tomorrow, and I'm going to tease it a little bit.
Okay,
because this kind of struck me a little bit. For the first time since 1955, the NCAA College Baseball World Series, the final 8 teams, none of these teams were there last year. Since 1955, there's always been a team that, repeated and made it back to the final 8. This is the first time since 1955 that the final 8 teams none of these teams were there last year.
Yeah, most of the teams that are usually there all got beat in the regionals.
Yep. And I'll say who the teams are that are there, and we'll go over this tomorrow. The tournament starts, the final 8 starts June 13th and the 14th, the first round of the final 8. But you got Coastal Carolina, I don't think it's known as a baseball powerhouse. Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville, UCLA, Murray State, Arkansas, and LSU. Them are the 18. LSU's usually pretty good in baseball, but they wasn't there last year.
Oh no, like all the SEC teams that they're usually there, Vanderbilt, all them, they all got upset in
that one team was Vanderbilt was the number 1 seed and got beat the first round.
They got beat in the first round of the regionals. Like 13. It was like 13 of the top 15 ranked teams lost in the regionals in the first round.
Yeah.
The first round of the regionals was crazy, and in college baseball. If you don't watch college baseball, it's a good watch.
Yeah, I watched some of it last weekend.
Especially toward the end of the season during the regionals and the World Series.
Yeah, I was expecting more out of Texas this year. Texas kind of let me down a little bit this year. I was expecting more out of those guys.
They lost. Didn't they lose to San Antonio?
Yeah, I think I want to say it was San Antonio they lost to. They didn't make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They upset Texas in the regionals. You had Vanderbilt get upset in the regionals. There was, I mean, like
Vanderbilt was a huge one. That
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all the big powerhouses were gone real quick. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd go over that, and I could tell you tomorrow what the odds are, and then maybe each one of us can make a pick who we think's who's gonna win this thing. Because what's crazy is, well, we'll get that tomorrow because I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good. Also, I just saw on ESPN. I was looking at it just now. And maybe we can figure out or talk about tomorrow is on the Halliburton has a leg issue. Did y'all see? They don't expect it to be an issue, but I guess he hurt his lower leg or something.
Well,
did y'all see that?
I heard something about today. There was some stuff coming out about it, and then but what the guy Sham said today was that he practiced full practice, 100%, 100% practice today. I think he was a little sore after game 2.
Yeah, what started it was when he came to the press conference after game 2. He was moving kind of slow. You could tell like he was sore. But hell, you just went through 2 battles. You're going to be a little sore.
Yeah.
But he even said at the press conference that he was fine because people, of course, started asking about that he was fine. But the other reports that came out a little bit earlier today, he was a full participant at practice, and he's feeling fine. He feels fine,
yep,
and everything. So
I don't think
so. It shouldn't be a issue.
So you don't think there'll be any lingering effects come? And I don't think there would be. I mean, if it's just general soreness, I'm sure he's getting treatments. I'm sure he's getting massages. Yeah. I'm sure he's getting whatever he needs to stretch it out, whatever he needs to do. So,
like I said, he went through full practice,
he practiced today,
full practice and everything today. So if it was something they were worried about, he would have set out today, and I mean, to make sure he was ready for tomorrow. So to me, him being a full participant in practice shows that he's fine. Because Carlisle ain't going. I mean, you're not going to have him out there. If something's going on, you're going to try to get him rested up as much as you can for the next game.
Sure.
The fact he's out there participating in practices shows me that it was just a little bit of regular soreness that all players go through.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put at this time some Jason Voodoo Magic on your team, and I fully expect the Pacers. To pull away and get the W.
Hey,
long as my pick, I pick it to the Pacers.
Hey, long as Joe's still predicting OKC, and I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. As long as Joe don't jump on that bandwagon, I'm feeling good.
If Joe starts picking the Pacers, y'all are gonna be over there nervous as hell.
I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna ban Joe. Hey, I'm gonna pull you, and I'm gonna ban him. He ain't gonna be able to get on there. Like you did.
Hey. Y'all don't need that bad voodoo magic over there on you guys.
One thing real quick, if Billy Buzz is still out there, I know we haven't seen a lot of Billy Buzz lately, but I think Billy I don't know if he got to see it, but our wrestling show last night, I think he'd really be interested into a GWR because our special guest was not only is he a wrestling booker, but he also takes pictures for bands and does a lot of concerts and stuff like that.
Interviews a lot of
bands, and I think Billy Buzz would really be interested in that. He also takes pictures of something else too. Sports, yeah, just sports. He's got to be at WWE press conferences. I think he's been at Pacers press conferences. He gets to do
Fever press conference.
Fevers. He gets to do a lot of that stuff. And but he's can you remember some of the names he said band wise? The dude from Skillet.
Yeah, he's like Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. I can't think of.
He got to sit on Chris Jericho's tour bus interview Jericho when he at a Fozzy concert.
2012.
I'm trying to think who else he had named. Slipknot. He's interviewed a lot of the guys from Slipknot. If you watched it from the interview last night, he names off a bunch of the names
yeah.
and stuff. It was a cool interview.
Yeah, he's involved with wrestling.
Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor was one of them they interviewed. There was
Jay, I was mentioning to Chris, maybe you and him could have him on the Whiskey Hour or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of, he tells some pretty good stories and stuff, and with wrestling, but I mean more on the band.
You're talking about Chris Jericho. You're talking about Chris Jericho, right?
Yeah,
you're talking about
the
guy that we interviewed. He takes pictures and does interviews, so he gets to go to concerts and take pictures of.
He's a photographer. He goes around shooting concerts. He also goes to sporting events,
and he gets to do interviews with a lot of the bands. Like I said, he's done. I can't think of.
That would be. Yeah, I'd definitely bring him on the Whiskey Hour and pick his brain and talk about the. I'm all about that.
I forget the name of it.
That's what the Whiskey Hour is a water cooler about that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely down for that.
I forget which Guns N' Roses he named the guy.
He named it. And I knew the name, but I couldn't.
But he's interviewed Corey Taylor. He's interviewed. I mean, he's photographed Pink shows. He's done. He's a big.
Well, if he's interviewed Corey Taylor, I'd definitely be down for that.
He's and Reggie. His name's Reggie, but he's a big. He's big in the metal, like heavy metal and hard rock music. So like Slipknot, he's interviewed a lot of them. He's Rob Zombie. Like there's a lot. Like he has a lot. And he told a lot of stories last night on our show. So
I think it'd be something more.
Definitely. Let's do it. We can do it. Maybe if we can do a group chat or something like that, we could definitely get that. I'd definitely like to make that happen.
The only thing, it probably would have to be in the evening because of his job.
That's fine.
Couldn't do it in the afternoon. That would be the only thing.
That's fine. Yeah, the time doesn't matter. The Whiskey Hour is a flexible show, so we don't have a specific timeline. So I could definitely flex to make that happen.
Yeah, I think you guys would like that. So that'd be something.
Hey, one last thing before we get out of here. Hey, so Giannis says in a quotations, the finals are different. I hope to be back soon with the Bucks.
Yeah,
so I don't know that.
I seen that.
I don't know that he's definitely out, guys. I don't know that he's definitely out.
See, I don't know. I seen that too, but I don't know if it's real because Josh, whatever his name is for ESPN, their number one reporter, he claims
he don't work for ESPN. Wojnarowski's gone. Chom's is their number one reporter, ESPN.
He's still been on ESPN a lot though.
Not Woj.
No, it's the other guy, the heavy set.
Wemby.
Wemby. Sorry about that. Okay, I was getting confused. Yeah, Wemby. Wemby said that Milwaukee and them have had no talks. No, he's
had to think differently because I was like, Woj, who's been on there?
He hasn't talked to anybody. He's traveling with his family overseas, and so I'm not sure that I'm not saying the report's fake, but you know how that goes. So I'm not sure.
I think there's a lot of speculation out there with Giannis. I just don't think he's 100%. Out of Milwaukee. I think there's still an opportunity that he could still stay with Milwaukee. But again,
Milwaukee.
I never thought he was 100% out. That most of that to me is just the media.
Yeah,
like because soon somebody loses, that's all the media talks about. Oh, they're going to want to be gone.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that narrative gets built by the media before. So like, I mean, there's a chance on this move. But I never thought. Like I agree with you. I never thought like it was a guarantee or a. The only thing that made me think it might happen is because of the Bucks salary cap situation. It's going to be hard for him to really try to build around him. Yeah. So he might want out, but also with the way Giannis is, it wouldn't surprise me if he stayed. So
I know that Wemby said that the Milwaukee Bucks organization said they have no interest in trading Giannis at this time. No interest at all. Now, again, Giannis could come to them and say, "Hey guys, we're not going to win here. I want to move on." Then they might, look to do something. But they said they do not want to trade Giannis at all in any way whatsoever. They're not interested in doing that. So,
and then if he did say that to them, it wouldn't be the end of the world for Milwaukee because I'm sure you're going to get a treasure trove of picks, from a guy like Giannis. So it's not like they couldn't rebuild off the picks that they would probably generate off of him, right?
Yep.
So, who knows? I just think it's going to be a very interesting offseason with Giannis to see. I think it's going to be an interesting offseason with Giannis I think it's going to be interesting offseason with Durant and a few other players in terms of where they go. So I am curious to see where plans land this offseason. I think it's going to be interesting.
Do you think Houston resigns Van Fleet?
I hope they do.
Okay.
I think they will? Yeah. I don't think they're going to let Van Fleet walk. And it seems like I saw something somewhere, Tony, where they had mentioned that they were going to bring him back. I'd have to go back and find that article again, but I don't see Van Fleet leaving. I think he's a huge part of that team in terms of leadership and in terms of being the captain of that team. So I don't see him going anywhere. Could be wrong, but I don't. I think they're going to keep that core intact.
Yeah, I think they got a good core. So,
which they should. I mean, they're developing. They got up to the number 2 spot in the West with this young core. Why would you start?
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say that the Houston needs to do is find somebody that can consistently shoot the 3 as a role player. Find a role player, swing man, a big man that can shoot that 3 consistently. If you can find that type of player, then that would certainly elevate Houston's game because we don't have a legit 3-point shooter. We got a couple of guys that can make them here and there, but we don't have a Buddy Hield or anybody else like that, right? Or anybody can consistently be a role player hitting that 3. So we need that.
I don't think the Pacers are going to make many changes.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they need to.
I think we re-sign Turner.
I think that's the biggest
and then
one.
We might add a piece or two. Might tweak the bench a little bit, but I don't see nothing really changing with our starting 5.
I wouldn't think so. The only one that could would be Turner. That would be the only thing.
Yeah, but I don't think.
I think they're going to try to resign Turner, and we'll see.
I do too, and I think Turner. I think if they make Turner a good offer, he's going to stay. He's been in Indiana for 10 years. Like he likes it here.
I don't know why he would leave either. You guys are in the finals. I mean,
he was if he was
and you have a good team.
If he was going to leave like by his choice, he'd already done it because, like I said, he's been here 10 years.
Yeah,
and he was here when we wouldn't know good. He was here when we wouldn't know good.
Right. So I don't know why you leave now when you're making it to the finals. That would make sense.
The only way I think he leaves is if the Pacers just decide they don't want to pay him what he wants and they move on. Other than that, I think he's there, and I don't think the Pacers are going to move on because Turner's a valuable player. I mean, he's a hell of a rim protector. He's not the best rebounder for a guy his size, but he's a great shot blocker. Plays decent defense, and then he can
run the court,
and then he can score from he can score from all levels. So I mean,
right.
So I mean, there's a lot of teams that'd be wanting him as their big man. You know what I mean? So I don't think the Pacers are going to move on from him. So I think our main 5 are going to be about the same. I could see maybe a few tweaks on the bench, but I don't see no big changes for the Pacers.
The guy that I'm worried that we may not be able to keep eventually is the young guy. I'm forgetting his name.
Nesmith?
We both
Mathurin.
I worry that he may be one that we maybe once his contract gets to where he's going to have to be negotiated and be signed. He's going to want. I think he feels like he could be more than a bench player. He could be a starter and be a starter that can score 24 points a game. So I just don't know.
Well, I think the Pacers really thought I think the Pacers think he's going to develop into that, but because there was a time at the beginning of the year where he was actually in the starting lineup, but then he got hurt and because Nesmith was hurt, so Mathurin was the starter. Mathurin was playing decent. Playing pretty good start, but then Mathurin got hurt. Nesmith came back, and Nesmith been on fire. And, so Mathurin got back down to the 6th man, and then Mathurin, he's just not consistent enough yet, really, to be like he'll have games where he'll score 20 points in 12 minutes, but then he'll have the games where he don't. And it's not just a scoring, because there's games like the other night, and I told you this in the finals game. I think it was in game 1. He didn't score a lot of points in the game, but he got a couple of big rebounds. When OKC was starting to try to make that push there in the 4th, he got to the free throw line, slowed down the momentum. Like he still affected the game, even though he got a big block on SGA. So like he still affected the game, even though he wasn't scoring. Where what happens with Matherin a lot of times if his shot's not going down, sometimes it affects the rest of his game, and he might disappear. Yeah. Which, like I said the other night, he didn't. And there's a lot of times he don't. But that's one of the things with him is sometimes if his shot's not working good, he might disappear. Where here in the playoffs, he's gotten, especially the last few games, he's been better about even my shot's not going. I'm affecting the game in other ways, and he'd really done that a lot in game one.
I agree. I think he's going to be a pretty good player. So I hope we can keep him, but we'll see.
I mean, most of our guys are still under contract.
Yeah.
Nimhard will be coming up here pretty soon, which they're going to sign. They'll sign him.
I think so.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't sign that starting five. Keep that starting five together with what you guys have achieved. I cannot imagine the Pacers not keeping that together. I mean, you're not going to win the finals this year, but I can't imagine them not keeping it for next year. But
yeah, Halliburton is signed. I know Siakam signed. I know them two for sure signed. Toppin's off the bench, but he's signed. So I think we're pretty good shape. What's his name signed? The one guard that comes off the bench. I think he's signed.
Yeah, we got most of them are signed for at least the next couple of years.
Yep.
Halliburton, I think, is signed to like 28 or 29.
Yeah.
And Siakam is signed for I think two or three more years. I mean,
how old is Halliburton?
25.
Yeah, 25.
So he's still a young kid, and Siakam, he's probably what, 30?
I think right around 30.
Yeah,
because
because I know he was in the 2019. He was part of that Raptors 19 championship.
We have a young team. Like if you put our team and OKC's team together, the average age is like 25. It's like the lowest average age ever for a finals. Like, but we have both of us have some of the younger teams in the NBA, along with like Houston and I think Detroit.
I think Siakam is your oldest player, but I don't think he's over 30. So I think he's still Siakam's very much still in his prime, obviously. So I think you get maybe 2 or 3 more years.
Turner might be our oldest player.
Could be. He played for 10 years. So I'm not sure how many years Siakam.
I'll say Turner might be.
Yeah, so Turner and Siakam are probably both in their 30s.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, they're our oldest players, but neither one of them's like. I want to say Siakam's 30, but
how old's McConnell?
He is hold on. So Pascal Siakam.
He's 31.
Yeah, he was born in 94, which I thought he was at least 30. And then Miles Turner is definitely in his 30s. But even if he came, well, okay, he's 29. He's 29.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We don't we have a pretty young team, really.
So that means Miles Turner. So wait, hold on. So that means Miles Turner. Did he come in the league when he was 19?
Yeah, he came out of college quick. I think he played maybe 1 year in college, maybe 2.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize he was that young when he came into the league.
And not only is he's a good player, he's also a good dude. Like the stuff he does around Indianapolis and the community.
Yeah, Turner does a bunch.
Like he's a good dude. But actually, and honestly, almost everybody on the Pacers team right now is like that. Like you don't hear nothing bad about like any of them. But yeah, especially like Turner, like Lynn said, Turner made sure like that all them people that was in his fan zone all season got tickets to the finals game.
Yep. I think that's cool because I mean they were there every game, so they should be there for the playoffs. I mean I know they're free tickets and he's paying for them, but I mean I still think that's I think they're free tickets, but I mean I think
it's free tickets for like Glenn and them. But
Turner's taking care of it.
Turner's paying for it.
Turner takes care of it.
So everybody that's in that fan zone, Miles Turner said, "I'm paying for their tickets
for the finals."
He did for the whole season.
Yeah.
How does
They
that
get to
work
go
though?
down-
I guess. So when the game's over with, did they just take down your name? Hey, Miles Turner needs the name of everybody so he can pay for it. I mean, how that's weird to me. I wonder how that works.
No, they do it at the beginning of the season. There's like a tryout thing. You go do this thing for the tryout for the fan zone. They dress up and
You have
and
to,
stuff,
you have to stay on your feet the whole game.
and then you
There's no setting.
well,
down.
there's seats there, but
Yeah,
when
but
the ball's in play, you gotta be standing up.
Yes.
But and then they pick so many, like 30 people out of whoever all applies, and then they email you your tickets for each game.
Oh damn! Hell, I'd keep my old crippled ass standing if I knew I got some free tickets.
And since they made the finals, Miles made sure that all them people still got to come to the game. You know, I mean, had seats and got to come to the game just like the regular season. So, but yeah, I mean, he's paying for those, but he's paying. You know, I mean, he's paying for those tickets out of his pocket. The Pacers aren't just giving them away for free.
That's interesting to me. Fuck. God, maybe I need to move to Indianapolis and get all these free stuff, and maybe I need to move in with Glenn and take a course on how to get free stuff, man. Because that dude gets more free stuff than the homeless people do.
Well, you think about it, the cheapest. God damn it!
I know that. Everything coming through, baby. I'm just saying.
Cheapest ticket to get in the building's almost $1,000.
Yeah.
Their seats aren't up all the way at the top. I know where they sit.
Yeah.
he that's 32 people. Glenn said that he got 30. So I mean, he spent a decent. I know he makes good money, but still, he spent a decent chunk of money for all the home games for them to have tickets.
Oh, easily. That's easily a good chunk of money.
Think about the playoff game.
God, I need to go live with Glenn for I need to take a sabbatical and just go live with Glenn for about a year and study his mojo and figure out what he does and duplicate that mess.
Glenn, take care.
If you see me and Glenn living in the same apartment, that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a hoot. That would absolutely be a hoot.
It'd be a hoot, all right.
By the way, kids, if you're out there watching the last bit of this show, stay away from cigarettes.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Otherwise, you look like Gonzo. Don't do it.
Don't cough.
Hawk it up a lung.
I think I'm allergic to Jay. I think that's what happens.
Is that what it is?
I don't cough all damn day. I get on this show.
Oh, I can say something right now. It's very inappropriate, but I'm not going to.
All right. We got anything else?
No, let's get the hell out of here before you die.
On that note.
See everybody tomorrow.